Hola, ¿qué tal amigos, amigas y señores, niños, niñas y gente de la nación de San Diego Soccer? We have a brand new episode of Chelas con Chavos coming on hot, episode 08 with the great and powerful Miguel Oli Frijole, who's coming in, but also has two guests coming in hot. You know them, you love them. They are part of the founding members of Los Brujos, the supporting group for the San Diego Soccers, your San Diego Soccers, and also part of many things around soccer in San Diego. Without further ado, let's go ahead and say hi to the great and powerful Angie and El Fu, Adrian.
El Fu de Fus.
Sup, sup guys? Sup, fuas? Fuas? That apply? Fuas?
Fuas.
Foos.
How's your guys' day
Foos,
going?
plural foos. I like it. Heck yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's get started with this. How's everyone doing so far? Miguel, you're drinking? Oh, what you got
Son
over
chelas
there?
con chavos, güey.
Chelas con chavos. Look
Nah,
at
just
that.
like, yeah.
La
I got a
Tecate,
Michelob Ultra. the
Angie?
Tecate.
Una coquita.
La coquita. You know what?
Coca en bolsita.
Coquita cero. That's what the doctor recommends now. No, he doesn't. He's like, please don't drink any more soda. It just doesn't fucking matter. He's like, don't drink. So I was like, okay, but Coke
Sin
syrup?
azúcar.
Sin azúcar.
Perecero.
Yeah, exactly. Adrian, how are you, man? I think this is one of the second time in third time in two balls in a mic ever.
This is my second time. I'm doing well. I've had more than a few chelas today already. I got to celebrate Anzac Day with our boy Kiwi Nick,
Saw that, yeah.
which is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's essentially Memorial and Veterans Day kind of tied into one for all New Zealand and Australian veterans. So it was a huge honor to be out there with him. But those guys can fucking drink. So we've been they start at dawn and they don't stop. So so yeah, I'm doing real good right now.
Hell yeah, that's what we like to hear. I mean, obviously, making yourself part of the community in general. Like, I don't know if you knew Nick before the soccer scene here in San Diego or anything, but you know, yeah, I can very much say that you are part of that community, and you get down with it, fool. You get down with it, bro.
Yo, just light gambling. You know, light New Zealand, Australian gambling. That's all that is. You know,
I like myself some gambling. But, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, yeah, so I just want to turn it over to Angie. I know Miguel is the good old Oli Frijole here joining us from La Vecindad itself. I like the little background. But, I mean, it's one of those things where I'm very curious because people just kind of show up at times, and then some people just leave, some people stay, some people, you know, just become staples in the soccer community, soccer supporter group. And I'd like to say, Angie, that you have made yourself and cut yourself a portion of the San Diego soccer community, and you're recognizable not just because le echas ganas, le echas ovarios.
Huevos.
Okay,
Vamos
le
a
echas
poner
huevos.
huevos.
See, there we go.
And that famous
Huevos,
picture, how'd it
por
go?
favor.
Like, she's
Yeah,
just like
hell
this.
yeah.
That famous picture.
There you go. But I mean, what's this journey been of like just coming into the San Diego soccer supporting community? Like, have you always liked the sport of soccer? Nomás te gusta el desmadre? Like, I mean, like, what's that? How did that start?
I mean, aparte de que me encanta el desmadre, obviously. But we started when we went to one game with Adrian, and then it was one game after another game after another game after another game. And I just, you know, no, I was never really into indoor soccer. It was more outdoor, regular soccer. And I honestly fell in love with the game. It's a very interesting game, very fast played, but it's an amazing sport.
And that's something that the Chavos themselves have prided themselves in, is always being inclusive to everybody, really. Like, and there's never really a no. Miguel and Adrian, I mean, you guys have been part of the Chavos and eventually now part of the Brujos as well. And so, what does it look like? Because I mean, this is gonna I'll share my ignorance. So this is a safe space, right? When I used to play soccer, when I was with the Morro Tijuana, like, it was always my goal, if there was a girl on the other team, to not let her score, because ¿cómo vas a dejar que una niña te note? And so that type of mentality just kind of grew and festered, and now moving forward, it's like, really, that's just not the way of going. But that's unfortunately sometimes a mentality that with La Mexicanada tiene. And so not limited to just Los Mexicanos, but you see somebody like Angie coming through, somebody like the Madrinas coming through and just being a trailblazer in this sense. And not some mamadas. Like, you really are a trailblazer, Angie. Like, but like, what is something like this happen? It's like, oh yeah, finally, like, good, we have another outlet. Or what was that like, bringing Angie and her whole being into your guys' world
The
circle?
whole group. Yeah, no, honestly, man, it's been actually really nice the way to be able to have so many different diverse people joining the Chavos, and especially when it comes to when it comes to the women, I mean, they just run the whole thing, man. They keep us organized. The madrinas, they just they run everything in the background. And it's always nice to have that little extra that extra point of view that you definitely see, because I mean, for us as supporters group, sometimes it could be very male dominated, but we do forget sometimes too that there are kids in the stands, there are females in the stands, and the cool part about our group is that it's been very inclusive to making sure that the women have a voice just as much as the guys do. And Angie and the other madrinas and stuff, and Bethany as well. They've all been very vocal when it comes to our group, and it's been awesome to have them around for sure.
Angie, it's your job to get the rest of the madrinas on here. Yeah,
For
you're the shining example here, right? We hear like, oh, they
we
don't
need
want
all
to
the
be on
girls on here.
camera, they don't want to be this. Angie just came straight up from work, agarró su coquita, and is ready to roll. Adrian, I mean, you hang out with Angie in the section, and you're part of that section in the Brujos that has been there, is there. If there's a Lolo game, you know what? You're like, ¿sabes qué? San Diego Soccer's got me,
Brujos.
and Angie will also be there. What is it like having somebody like her backing you up, and you know what, just being that lead as well?
I mean, it's regardless of being male or female, Angie and her brother Cisco have been great, especially this year. They've been you know definitely the backbone of what we do. I feel like sometimes I get a lot of praise for what happens with the Brujos and everything, but at the same time, without her and Cisco kind of helping with the tailgates, helping with the equipment, helping with the setup and the breakdown and everything, that's really where, you know, those are the moments that a lot of people don't see when it comes to doing all of this. And, they've been, over the top amazing this year when it comes to helping with that, and it's really just a really positive sign, for growth. I feel like we're going in the right direction with all that, to kind of, add on to what Miguel was saying about, this is kind of always it seems to feel like a very male dominated thing. And, it makes me very happy to add diversity to that. So shout out Angie, shout out to, her brother Cisco. If y'all ain't met Cisco, you've probably met Cisco. He's
Yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, Angie, I want to hear from you, like, your perspective. As we mentioned already, supporter group are majority like male dominated, right? But
Yeah.
I feel like you guys are all making an impact when it comes to the women in Chavos and in Brujos. So what does that mean to you personally, knowing like, you know what, maybe this is a starting of something as well, like it's a start to something.
I mean, honestly, it feels good. It feels good. Like Miguel and Adrian say, it is a male dominant sport, obviously, but it feels really good to have all the women involved, all the madrinas involved, and especially when all the madrinas come out and also support the soccers, it feels really great, because not a lot of women are actually in supporter groups. A lot of women are, oh, this is too maley, this is too boyish, blah blah blah, and it feels really good. And especially when a little girl really comes up to you and be like, yeah, like I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. And it's not always about the boys, it's the girls also bring it to it.
So let me ask you, what do you think of, in that sense, right? Like, I look at the Wave across the street, right? And they have a lot of women and young girls part of that group.
Yeah.
Like, how is do you think that's a different brand? Do you think there's a way to get everybody in there? Is there a way? Because I've heard, not just from Chavos, but from locals, like maybe you getting in there, but again, knowing that that's maybe a different brand of desmadre in a sense.
I feel like that's a more calm desmadre than when you go to a soccer's game, than when you go to a Loyals game. it's a more calm kind of ambiance, I guess I would say.
It's a whole different vibe for sure. It's a different
Yeah,
culture,
it's a
really.
whole different vibe.
No, but I mean, it's really wonderful that you are making your mark here, and it's one of the things where it's like, well, she kind of is doing this and enjoying a male dominated area, and le valió madre. Like that's the thing. Like you just kind of went straight through it and to it, and that's praises to the Chavos and that infrastructure that you guys have. And I mean, what's the goal? Like to get more people into the Brujos, into the Chavos, more demographic, more diversity. And this is a question for everybody. Like, how are you making that impact? How are you telling tias, tios, abuelas, primos, primas, everybody, like coworkers, like what does that look like on a daily basis? Like, hey, what do you do on the weekend? Oh, pues me pongo bien happy in sports arena, right? Like me pongo bien happy at Torero Stadium. Like, is that what do those conversations look like? This is for any of the three of you.
I mean, I could definitely start off with that. I mean, I know for a fact I myself just talk about it all the time, man. Um, it's become kind of nonstop, and especially now with with the Brujos, the way that started off. I mean, I haven't been able to make that many games. I mean, maybe one or two games. Um, but whenever I can make it out, it's always a good time. And for me, ultimately, the goal is to just make sure that I know we've talked about this before, but I want to make sure that everybody feels included and everybody feels a part of what they're joining. It's
Yeah.
like we're promoting a product, and it has inclusivity. It has to be, you're proud of your heritage. You're proud of where you come from. You're proud of San Diego, and I just want to make sure that everybody that comes in, whether it to be the soccer game or a loyal game, feels that kind of same pride that we do.
No, I love it, love it. Angie, Adrian.
I mean, as far as the soccer's go, I would definitely say that you know the people. I'm always talking to everybody about what I'm doing on the weekends and stuff like that, and it definitely has a lot to do with the soccer's, especially since the season started back in, I don't know, November, October.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Sockers, it's definitely kind of reminding people that the Sockers have always been there for us. It's something that we've always kind of taken for granted. Just the fact that they're here and they just continuously win, and like we didn't win this year, but we've won 16. It's just we weren't paying as much attention as we should have
Yeah.
when they were winning those. You know what I mean? And that's kind of my whole point when it always, whenever anybody brings up why it's such a big deal to me, it's because that's the Sockers are the foundation of the sport in San Diego. Maybe you don't like indoor, maybe you don't like, whatever it is about it, whether it's the quarters or that whatever it is. Like, I understand. Outdoor has a different feel to it, but I take a lot of pride in the fact that the Sockers are a classic San Diego institution, and I feel like if we would have taken more pride in the soccer since the beginning, maybe that could have been our path to bigger things, to the MLS, to something bigger than what it is. You see a lot of these teams who kind of started around the same time as the Sockers, like Vancouver, like San Jose, like Seattle, where they've kind of gone through different phases, whether, it be different leagues, different branding, different everything. But those fan bases stood by, those teams. And because they stood by them and because they stood, the foundation for the sport in their city, eventually it was able to become an MLS team. And I feel like that is kind of what could have been with the Sockers, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't support them still. They deserve our support and our respect. And when we first started going to loyal matches, it was cool, and I love the loyal like no other. But when I start after the first loyal season that we could all attend ended, I remember the soccer season starting up and kind of talking to everybody and being like, are we going to soccer games? And everyone kind of was unsure. And I remember going to the home opener that year, and like I remember looking around and being sitting in section 19 and kind of feeling like this deserves more. Like
Yeah.
this deserves more of our attention and more of our pride. You know, they're celebrating a championship and we're just super nonchalant about it, you know? So for me, that's where, you know, the spark came, was going to that game and really, you know, feeling like let's do something with this. You know, it's a blank canvas, but it's a amazing starting point for a blank canvas. You know what I mean? Like you like it's almost unfair to think about how spoiled the Sockers make us when it comes to that, because it's like you have other teams and other cities who are playing indoor and they're not as prestigious and they don't win as much, and you know this gives you so much to work with when it comes to the team itself. So you know, and it's been crazy. It's been a crazy 2 years since then.
And
Yeah,
Angie,
you can't ask
yeah.
for a 16. You know, you can't ask for anything better than 16 championships to start off the supporters group now.
Oh, for sure. And Angie,
Yeah.
are you getting other homegirls out there to the soccer or the Chavos soon?
I want to. I really want to. Like the same thing. My coworkers all ask me, "Hey, what are you doing this week?" And I tell them, "Oh, well, there's a loyal game, or oh, there's a soccer game."
Mm-hmm.
And one of my coworkers recently asked me, she's like, "Hey, she's like, well, next time there's an indoor soccer game, invite me." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, for sure. If they make it to the finals, like
Ta
come down,
madre. Just
support."
soccer's
Valiendo.
chingada
And
madre.
I mean, unfortunately, they didn't make it. But there's always this coming up season next year to start bringing up more people and more people.
No,
Yeah,
one hundred
for
percent.
sure.
And I mean, talking about that whole situation with the soccer's being, it's essentially San Diego's team. Like these fools even played in Del Mar, and somehow they came down and still embraced the South Bay. It's like there's a way to do it. Like they played exclusively in Del Mar for the longest time.
I know
Um,
I'm probably gonna age myself with this one. Do you guys remember back in the day when they used to play outdoor and Hugo Sanchez was one of their top signings for the NASL?
so I've read about that in books, in history
Yeah,
books.
you see, that's how old I am. Yeah.
¿Quién es Hugo Sánchez?
Is
Nah, te
it
creas. No mames.
like one of those library things? You remember with the newspapers and the magnifying glass?
Yes. But I mean, right here, right? Like that's San Diego's team right there, right? And Angie, I'm looking because soccer's gonna make it easy because there's that picture of both of you presenting the supporters shield as well.
Mhm.
What was that like in your history as a supporters group? What does that mean for the Brujos and eventually want to bring it over to the Chavos as well and just spread that love, right? It must have felt great.
No, yeah, it felt amazing. I mean, I really want to thank, especially Adrian, for letting me share that moment with him. But it felt amazing. Honestly, it felt amazing. Something I've never really done. Something that hopefully happens again in the next season, and hopefully we bring home the gold.
I like that. What did that mean to you, Papi Chavo?
I mean, it's been crazy because you know the team, you know, ever since Craig came to me with the idea of, you know, let's do a supporters group, let's do something for the Sockers. You know, they've been really, you know, they've really reciprocated the feeling. You know, they've you know, when we won the championship last year, you know, I had brought it up of like, hey, let's take the trophies, you know, down to, you know, down to the hood. Let's take it to Logan Heights. Let's let people, you know, see and, you know, and really feel it down there, you know. And of course, you know, that was a quick yes, you know. And this year, when before the season started, they had contacted me and they had contacted Kev about doing the third kits this year. And you know, again, lots of reciprocation on what our ideas were. You know, the Loyal had just done the Siempre Leal jerseys,
Yeah.
and the Padres had just done the City Connects, and they kind of had the same. They were like, we want to do something for, you know, our city the same way, you know, but we want it to be something that isn't done by a PR team or isn't done by a marketing team, that's done by you guys that
Yeah.
you think represents us, you know. And so to have that kind of connection with such a, you know, historic team in town, it's amazing, and it's something that I take, a lot of pride in. The getting the ring and being on the field for all this stuff. It's like it's a yeah. I don't know. It's surreal sometimes for sure.
I mean, it has to be the dream for what you're building, right? Like, that's what you work for, is those moments and just showing that undying support. And honestly, for me as a San Diegan, I know you were born in LA. You're a San Diegan too, Chiva, but you're born in LA. I think I'm okay to say that the San Diego Soccer's kit is the best one out of those three: City Connect and the Siempre Leal. And that's putting respect on both of those. Potter's one, okay. The City Connect, all right, I get it. That should have been Miami's, but I mean the kit for the soccer's a third kit. I think even the players really loved it, and it represented a lot, and it's badass, bro. Like it's really really cool.
I mean, we got to be there at Woodbridge Barcata in Chicana Park when they did the commercial for it, and it was honestly a lot of fun to be there and to do that. But moving on to year two, right? A lot of people have this expectation of San Diego Soccer's where they're going to win the championship. They're going to get to the final. And then this last semifinal game happens, goes to the mini game, and that happens. What was the moment for you guys as a supporters group, just that last goal went in? We were commentating, and, I mean, the whole Pachanga Arena, like,
I
felt
had
silent.
to sound exciting, guys, because
Yeah,
I
he
was
did.
I was with Canela and the Mexican side of it.
Had to be a little professional, a little professional.
Even though I was dying inside.
Well, how do you
That
feel
was a
in,
pretty good
in,
call.
in,
That
in
was a
your
nice
guys'
call. I'll give
section?
you props.
It was a
I
good call.
try to keep it fair. It has to be. It has to be. I want to call a soccer championship now, a San Diego team championship. Like that's the goal. But sorry, Gio, you're.
No, but what was the feeling? I mean, soccer's loose, no championship. What was the feeling in the supporters group?
I mean, it definitely felt like, I mean, in the moment, it's like it's like a gut punch for sure. You feel the wind instantly, leave the section because everyone's yelling and screaming. It's a golden goal situation, so we're all hoping that we can be the one that gets it. And then you just see a straight banger, like I mean, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Who there's nothing that can be done on that shot. I've watched it a million times over again, and it's just an amazing shot, top bin. Like, what are you gonna do? And you kind of have that moment, like where you look around and you're like, is there like a penalty? Or is there something like, and it's not, and it just is what it is at that point. And there was definitely I'd say a minute or two of disappointment. You start to hear Chihuahuas fans screaming and chanting, and you're like, damn, like it's all them right now. That's
Yeah.
and you get almost kind of jealous in the moment, like, damn, like that's our moment, and they took it from us. But then, the players started to come around like they typically do at the end of the games, and they applaud everybody and this and that, and you kind of get this moment of like, well, I still support them, and I'm still very proud of them. This is an amazing run. You go 2 back-to-back championships, 2 back-to-back supporter shields, best regular season records, and and they're still our guys, and we still support them, and it didn't seem to, they didn't seem as hurt as maybe we were. And when they came through, we had to put that feeling aside, and continue to support them because we're proud of them. I'm genuinely proud of all those guys, and regardless of however this season went, next season we'll be back. And so having them, they really lifted our spirits up at the end of the game by coming around and still you know acknowledging everybody in the group. And we lost, but we still were able to hold our heads high, with how the season went.
Yeah, and I mean, it was an emotional thing where like it's a ride either way. You were gonna be happy or you're gonna be sad, but either way, it was a ride of emotions. It sucked.
It sucked. That's straight up.
Angie,
Like,
what did you take away at that end? You ever experienced that
I mean-
that before?
No, not really. Not really. This is the first time, and I think Adrian said everything that needed to be said. I mean, it feels like someone just took the air out of you, but the boys still came around, and we weren't gonna let them down and be like, oh well, f you guys didn't win, on to the next. Like no, like we were gonna still be there cheering for them. We're still gonna keep supporting them. We're still gonna be the Brujos. Nothing of that is gonna change. There's always next year, and con huevos, a traerlo con huevos.
Hell yes.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like with with soccer season over, right? Like it's not like you guys just go away. You guys are a part of you guys. There's a reason you're here for Chelas con Chavos too. You guys are also part of the Chavos de Loyal, along with Miguel and ourselves, right? We've got our scarves. Thank you, Miguel. You made it happen. I don't know how you did it. Like like they came immediately. The new
camisa.
Chavos, camisa de los
Yeah,
Chavos.
you gotta make promises in the air. That's why.
No, 100%. No, they.
No, this
I
was
won't mention who.
Sam, you're fucking wrong. I just got word they're here now. We're gonna get them next game. And it happened.
And it happened. So that's what you got to do.
Shout out to Sam, by the way, who won a
jersey.
San Diego Loyal home kit from us
I don't know how
yesterday.
Oh, lucky.
I don't know how that happened. I'm
I don't
sorry,
know
guys.
either.
I fell asleep on the live chat.
Oh, stay way. Fell asleep or you were drunk, fool?
Nah, fool was 50 feet away, homie. Ya sabe, la verde. But no, hey, no, but like this is in between us here. Tell the club like, hey, we want more giveaways on 2 balls and a mic. Like it'd be great because, like, for radio stations, dan boletos. They give price packages every goddamn thing. Oh, llame ya 570 1045 Radio Latina. Like whatever. Call numbers.
Yep.
Why
I've
not?
been hearing Javier the X-Man promote the team. I know.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Javier's the man. But I mean, like, let's do it more. I want to give more stuff away to people. But you guys are also part of the Chelas con Chavos family, the Chavos de Loyal family. How do you guys balance that just like lifestyle now of like, okay, now I am Chavo, now I am Brujo, now I am this. And I mean, who came up with the Brujo type of nomenclature where it's genius because you're just expanding La Vecindad del Chavo into more things. Like it's pretty cool actually.
That was honestly a Kev idea. Kevin, a Presidente. He was the one who was we kind of started doing everything, and he's a creative mastermind. I don't think people really realize how much creativity and how much effort that fool puts into everything. And
He said he's gonna be here next week, so we'll see.
Hey, bro, he won't put it out unless he's sure of it. You know what I mean? He be sitting in the back waiting, and we were doing everything, and one day we were at the game, and he's like, "Hey, fool, what do you think about Los Brujos? Like La Bruja?" And I was like, "That's fucking tight."
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And we ran with it, and it's been fire ever since.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Los Brujos, and I think
Sí, bola de borrachos todos. It
no,
makes sense.
yeah. Las Chilindrinas. Los Don
Sponsored by
Ramon.
Califino, something like that. At some point, I wish.
Yeah.
Davos.
What's up? We try to be like you guys and get the Califino sponsor. What's going on? I'll do all the plugs.
Hey, wait, none of you bought the Califino with our code.
I
So-
checked. The only one that bought one was
I
me.
buy it at the liquor store from the homies. My bad.
Support the local homies. That's what you gotta do.
Shout out Boulevard Liquor. They be doing me right.
Hell yeah.
Don't shout them out. Then you guys are gonna know where I live.
But yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, I have an idea of where you live. I don't think you live in La Jolla, Adrian. I'm sorry. I really don't think that.
All right.
And if
Stereotype of people, whatever.
damn, you got me. Imagínate, like this whole time he lives like just luxuriously.
I don't know,
in
dude.
pinche
Crocs with no
mansión.
socks. This might be
Yeah,
living
bro.
in La
I'm living
Jolla.
that PP life these days. So that's good.
Hell yeah, get that fucking Croc 10. Hell yeah. But all right, like that's part of it too, and this is bringing la raza too into it, and that's always the question: like, how do we bring more people? How do we do this? Like, do you guys feel like you guys have a safe space in the Brujos, in the Chavos, in this culture? This is a very loaded question, and for one person specifically who makes stickers and designs, is very outspoken at times, but. I'll let you think about that one, Adrian. But like, do you guys think like this is a safe space where you can truly be yourselves and not really hindered by the outside influences of what you love, right? Like, it's not necessarily like to say like, I don't feel seen because when the goalkeeper kicks the ball, I can't say a certain word in Spanish. Like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But just in general, does this offer a safe space for everybody? You too, Miguel. Like, you guys feel comfortable? Is there something that you guys would want a little bit more, a little bit less? Just leave that question there for everybody.
No, I mean, I think from a group aspect, I think our spaces are pretty safe for the most part. I know I feel like I could always, bring up an idea and or say something and not be ostracized or, like we have people from all walks of life. I mean, we got a couple guys that are in the military. We got some people that are just like, very more liberal with certain ways they view the world. We got some people that are just kind of more not conservative, but like it just depends on what kind of person you really are. And I think we have a really good group dynamic where everybody respects everybody, and we don't we try to fight for each other's causes, and uh, and I know that's been a really big thing for me and for the reason I love this group so much is that whenever whenever something comes around and we ask for help, there's always one or two guys that are willing to give it 110% with you. So that's why I appreciate. I mean, that I see it as a safe space for myself for sure.
Hell yeah. Wait for it, Adrian. I'll come back to you. Angie, do you feel like you have a safe space whenever you go into a soccer supporters group and you're not really seen as like, what is she doing here? Or like, who is she with? Like, no, Angie will go alone. Like, she'll le vale madre. Like, you'll
She'll fuck anyone
jump in
up
there.
too.
Yeah, 100%. Like, did you ever feel that, or what's that experience like for you?
Oh no, I'm always around a great group of people, starting off with Miguel, Adrian, to the madrinas, to Kevin, to my brother, to everyone. Like, I'm never looked at like, oh, she's a girl. What is she doing here? Like, no, I'm always welcomed with literally open arms. I am able to voice my opinion. I'm able to, talk to whether it's Kevin, whether it's the madrinas, to anyone about anything and know that they're not going to look at me like, oh, what is wrong with you? Or, oh, you're crazy, or. So yeah, I would say it's a very safe spot, safe place. My second home.
No, no, no. Let me ask though. Do you ever have conversations? 'Cause I know the answer for both of these gentlemen is a yes, but like, you know, fucking fool over here. Yes, familia con los New Zealanders. Like, they're gonna give you a I don't know, Kiwi card for that. But do you ever like engage with the locals, with the rainbow singular? Is that something that you ever find yourself with, or do they come up to you maybe? Like, do you ever talk to some of their version of madrinas, or locals in general?
I mean, yeah, I talked to some of the girls on the locals. I mean, it's obviously a whole different vibe. Probably because
Nosotros
they're
desmadre,
white.
yeah.
Throwing it out there. Um, but I mean, I do get along with them. I do talk to them. Especially with Taylor's wife, Ashley. She's more Mexican than she is white. But I mean, I get along with, basically all the girls on whether it's on the locals, whether it's on the Chavos, whether it's with the Rainbow. So it's a vibe with all of them.
Hell yeah. Despierta, papi. Like, I know. You're fighting through it. You're fighting through it, Adrian. I see
getting
you.
through it.
I
You're getting
see
through
you.
it, puppy.
I love it. I love it. And no, that I really love that you also are that point of contact for a lot of people, right? Like, you are, if somebody might not feel safe coming up to a sweating, heaving, in the zone Adrian, who's just gone a half a game, banging on that drum, they have you to go to and have that. And so, I'd like to say that, yeah, like, let's have more of those conversations. Approach Angie. She's not aggressive. She'll if you don't, push her to it. I think.
She's
I don't
super
know.
nice.
She's
She's
super
super
nice.
nice.
She's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
but all right, Adrian, do you have any thoughts? Is it a safe space for your thoughts in the San Diego soccer supporter culture community? How do we feel? What do they need to do? What do they need to improve on? Tell me. Lay it on me.
Currently, I'd say this year, we're definitely in that space where, it feels good and we feel comfortable, but it's been something that we've had to fight for. It didn't just happen overnight. We kind of had to make our presence known, and it kind of had to be a thing where we let people know that this is going to be what we do and how we do it regardless of how it makes some people feel, you know? Like kind of like Miguel said, we we take on each other's causes, you know. It maybe I don't feel the same way as some other people in the Chavos do all the time, but if but like a family, you know, someone else can give me their perspective, and I can always respect your perspective on what's going on and how you feel, and we can find common ground. You know what I mean? The same way you don't beef it with your cousins forever is the same way, you know, different views on whatever it is don't keep, you know, the Chavos from fucking with
Yeah.
one another, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, those, you know, in the 109 in general, it was something that we had to fight for. And we had to, you know, let it be known that we're not, you know, under the umbrella. We're not little brother in here. We want a seat at the table. You know, we want to be seen as equals. It's not, you know, the locals and the Chavos as a little brother. It's the 109. We're both here. You know, we're both there. Maybe we don't have the numbers. Maybe we don't have, the size and just the ability to do the same things, but that doesn't count out how much heart we have and how much, you know, we bring to the table and provide to the team. I feel like so, you know, it's definitely, it's definitely a safe space for us this year, but it's definitely been fought for 100%.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, you guys got most of the drums. You guys got most of the best chance. It's that right there. But I want to talk to you, Papi. Talk about the impact that Chavos have had in the community, right? You're the main guy there when you're creating all this stuff, the backpack drives, the turkey drives, all this stuff. What drives you to do all this stuff for the community?
Philanthropy, homie.
I mean, because at one point in time, you know, that was me. You know, that I was on the other end of those things. You know, when I was a kid, you would go to the barrio station, and that then the barrio station, you know, for Christmas they give you a toy. You know what I mean? And they would, you know, or they would take you on trips for Halloween and stuff like that. You know, the Chunky Sanchez was the first person to ever teach me how to play an instrument, and it was free. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I learned how to play Feliz Navidad on a little guitar, and you know, those moments really, you know, I don't think people realize how small moments like that can really, you know, change the trajectory of someone's life. There's someone who, you know, might have not had nothing, you know, for their holiday or for the school year or whatever, you know, and we got to, you know, actively change that this year and last year and before. And, you know, I had these thoughts and ideas for a long time of like, how do I do this? I don't have a lot of money. I'm just like everybody else here. I live check to check. I don't have a strong foundation for all of this. But when we started the Chavos, you know, it dawned on me that this could be, you know, not just something for the team, but something for the city and something bigger than that. And, you know, when I present these things to everybody, it's been amazing the support I get and the support that, you know, everyone puts into it. And that's not just the Chavos, but that's also the locals. That's also, you know, Rainbow Loyals. That's also just the fans. People, you know,
Los cabrones también.
once the word spread, I started getting donations and stuff, you know, from people I'd never met before, from, you know, everywhere. From, you know, we gave out skateboards one time, and, you know, Andrew
Damn,
Vasilialis
I'm
gave
good.
us, you know, a really nice donation for skateboards, and, you know, it's it makes me very happy that everybody sees that vision, you know, and it makes me happy. You know, we don't do anything like in neighborhoods that we're not from, or we don't, you know, mess with, you know, like that's like I know those kids, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the community that I grew up in. You know, those kids go to school with my kids, you know, I know what that's like. And, you know, so it's, you know, it's big for me. I don't I don't do it for the praise or, you know, for anything else. You know, I like to, you know, just do it for the kids. You know, you only get one childhood, you know, and sometimes when you grow up in rough neighborhoods, you know, it makes you grow up quick. And, you know, to be able to have something small like a nice holiday dinner with your family, or you know, a brand new skateboard for Christmas, or a backpack to start the year off, you know, those things are big for when you don't have a lot. So, you know, I always got to thank everybody, you know, Chavos, locals, loyal, Soccers, you know, because you know it's really beautiful to see how everybody comes together for those events.
Hell yeah, man. And that's for the city, right? Like it's everything that's done is for the city. Like beyond, you know what? Love the Soccers, love the loyal, love whatever MLSs might be happening, love the wave, but like at the end of the day, it's for the city, and that's what it's about, man. It's the people in the city. Angie, what part of the city are you from? You know what I mean? I know you're from Chicali. You say infierno de pueblo, like
El infierno. No, I live more like by the Spring Valley area, Spring Valley Skyline area.
okay, okay.
Alright.
I know that bus route. It's a sketchy bus route at times, but yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
No, but that's part of it, right? And then Miguel, you're South Chula Vista, right? Straight Chula.
Yeah, I'm from Chula Vista, Otay.
Okay, so I
Puro
mean,
chula.
that's just I think we got it covered, right? Like I'm National City, you're Chula, Spring Valley, and Canto area too, like Skylines, it's down Logan, fool. Like this is like the meeting of the boroughs in South Bay, right? Like that's and you know, like I'd love to get more people. Like, what's
Nos
up,
falta
fool?
alguien de Isidro.
Something from Sunny. I mean, this is currently in San Isidro, so area.
Technically, yeah.
Hey,
But
you know what? I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I kind of found very interesting when I joined the Chavos was you know, I mean, you and I, like, well, we all grew up like in around the same South Bay area, right? Like, you know, crossing the border every day almost.
Yeah.
It seemed like, and I didn't realize, like, you know, when I would talk to Adrian about like, you know, about Barrio Logan and stuff like that, it felt like it was like, oh man, that's like a different childhood than what we had. You know, like we were all like, you know, we're all just doing the same thing, but his childhood was way different than what we were doing. You
Yeah.
know, just because we were doing it internationally and they were doing it like, you know, straight from, you know, like whatever 5-6, you know, block radius that they had. So it was definitely it's been really nice being able to learn about different people's lifestyles, especially like around San Diego County. You know, growing up, especially with this group. I mean, I'm learning something new every day, man.
I love that.
It's
Love
beautiful, man. I mean, those waking up at 4 a.m. to go to school, man. Shit hit different sometimes.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And then, you know, just the overall experience is wild. And it's just the thing that brings it all together is soccer. And that's what makes me happy, right? Like anything could have done this. We could have seen each other at Padre games. We could have seen each other, anything, but like the sport of soccer is what led me to meet you guys and, you know, make these bonds and relationships that I now will cherish forever. And it's all a big old family. And that's the thing that we all kind of get, right? Like, and it's not us trying to be like, oh, well, nobody else is allowed in this little family. Like, no. Like I would love more people. Like, look, and I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, right? Like, pero tu amigo Adrian, el AC, right? When he was sat across here and he was like, hey, my friend is Mexican. My best friend is Mexican. My first thought wasn't like, bullshit. It was, no, I want to meet this brand of Mexican that lives in Atlanta in the South. Like, what do they listen to? Like, what's their Mexican music? Like,
Puro peso pluma.
Puro Peso Pluma? Is this the type of like area we're going to? Like I want to know what, you know, my experience would have been somewhere else because it's for the most part the same. If I would have been born in Coronado, if I would have been raised in Rancho Peñasquitos and in Oceanside, like what would I have gone through? Like I put myself in those positions, and I mean I think we can all come together and put our little sauce of San Diego into these supporter groups, and I think that's what makes it unique, right? And let's my hope is to include more people in this and get more people out and to understand it, right? Like, vato, like I've met some of the most Mexican people that aren't even Mexican, just güeros, way. I'm like, whoa, like este vato, like,
The chocolate abuelita is the same everywhere.
bro, I know a Filipino dude that's white in Carl. like, I love that shit, man. Like it just brings it all together, and I mean, I just want to see more of that. Anything you guys want to see more of from supporter culture here in San Diego, guys? Before we wrap it up here.
I mean, honestly, no, it's just the growth. I just want to see growth. That's it.
Mhm. Yeah, same. More people involved. Get more people involved. Get more people to come out to games, support, join.
Get out there. Let's make it homework, right? Everyone bring one new person once a month.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then like just drink a 40 in the parking lot.
That's right.
There you
That's
go.
a pretty good idea.
Hey, his face lit up.
He's like,
His
yeah,
face
yeah,
like,
hell
"Oh,
yeah."
40 where?
Okay, almost.
Adrian's like, no more. Hey, Adrian, what is it like having somebody with your same spelling of your first name on the team?
Is it the same spelling?
Adrian.
Adrian, yeah.
Yep.
But does it have the extra E at the end? That's
Oh shit. See, that's my negligence. That's my discrimination
See?
against all Adrians.
I mean, he understands. Me and him both can't find a keychain at
No,
Disneyland.
no.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a struggle. You know, I don't know. Ghetto moms that spell things ghetto ways.
Yeah, no.
He's only the-
I
Adrian,
was
no
happy
E.
before this week.
No, we.
I got to. Speaking of moms, I got to meet Kyle Adams' mom today. She was cool.
Oh, dope.
All
How?
the
Wait, hold on.
At the Kiwi thing.
Oh, at the Kiwi
Yeah, bro.
thing. Oh
Yeah,
shit.
that's
The
That's
Kiwi holiday, bro. Come on now. You guys see Nickelback Boxo over there? Or?
Oh, come on.
Oh man,
Low
gotta
blow.
take it there.
All right. Well, I think is there anything housekeeping, Miguel, Angie, Adrian, as far as upcoming stuff, upcoming events, upcoming things, upcoming watch parties, upcoming Desmadres, upcoming Deft get-togethers? What's coming up?
I know every home game, 3 hours before the home game, it's going to be at depth all the times. We're starting to do like a maybe after party at McGregor's.
Mhm.
You know, we're trying to make that spot our own little after party spot. But as far as events, I don't know if we have anything going on for the watch party this Wednesday.
Mhm.
But we are planning the Padres outing here pretty soon. So we already got a head count of how many people are going to go. We're going to try to go for that Jersey night. So but other than that, I think we're actually pretty clear for the next couple months.
Okay.
For sure, everything's just gonna be just like watch party.
Sick.
Love it. Love it. Remember, please.
chance.
Yes. What's up?
New chance. That's my housekeeping thing right now.
New chance.
Everybody needs to jump on the new chance. They're all in the discords. Start learning them. It's hey, I always hear you guys on here talking about old chance and new chance.
Yes. Agreed.
It's you know what? Getting people to learn new chance is like trying to be a band that had like a really big first album, and then you're trying to get people to like the second album, but
Yeah.
everybody just wants to hear the hits.
Yeah. But see,
Like,
but
I
the
mean,
second album is a lot of Spanish, and like there's a lot of people. It
Hey,
doesn't-
You
I
find
was-
yourself.
I'm OG no Sabo kid, homie. If I could do the chance, all these motherfuckers can do the chance, right?
There you go.
That's
Love
Sabo
that.
job, 'cause don't-
Simple.
I'm tired of that excuse. Nope, we ain't doing that no more.
Vamos, muchachos.
Learn to roll your R's and let's get it.
Can you roll your R's, Angie?
Chirros.
Miguel?
Los churros.
Uh-oh. Miguel?
I can.
Okay. Just making
Barajas.
sure. Okay, of course. Just making sure. I know you can.
Of course.
Also, another thing I did want to bring up, if for anybody who's not in our
Be-
Discord, another thing that's pretty cool too is that when you're talking about expanding the Chavos universe,
Yeah.
they're starting to make little caricatures of each individual member of the Chavos. People that they're contributing to the group. Our first one was going to be I don't know if you guys saw it, but Pyro, he's the very first caricature that we made for the Chavos of Loyal. So it's going to be more coming throughout the month, throughout the year. So you're involved with the Chavos.
This one?
Yeah, there he is right there.
Boom.
That's him. So he has a motorcycle helmet it's got a kitty mask, like like right on top of it, man. Just there you go with the pyro and everything. So that was debuted on 420, and there's gonna be more coming along as the year goes. So if you want your own caricatures, it's gonna be one of the things you gotta earn.
That's actually pretty dope. I mean,
Yeah.
not necessarily suggestion, but I like this idea of like, you guys remember going to the laundromat or anywhere that had the candy with the quarter that you put in, and it's un plátano, it's like a little thing, it's hard candy, las frutitas. It's been there for fucking 5 years, but it tastes the same. But next to it was the one that was worth $1, and you had to ask. and you put it in, and you got your little homies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the
Bro,
homies.
why don't we do homies?
You just got to buy a 3D printer, man.
There you go.
Hell yeah. But no, that's fantastic. And I think if more events do start coming up, it will pop up here on Chelas con Chavos. We're going to have more of these conversations. Angie, Adrian, thank you for coming on as special guests, as representatives of Los Brujos, representatives of Los Chavos, representative of San Diego, representative of the city. I mean, and I really couldn't be prouder of having you guys be the supporting group and the voice, really. And if there's any point where you want to have a voice or want to say something, you guys are always welcomed here. And
Hit us up.
we will make sure that you are heard and make sure that the clubs hear you and make sure that everybody else hears you, even if it's uncomfortable, because that's what has to happen, straight up. Even if we're paid by the club now.
For sure, I'm trying to go to the garage. Just let me know.
Hell fucking yeah.
Just that's the way.
Cuando quieras, papi.
Just 50 yards because my family doesn't know.
Oh, this was clean now, bro.
Vato, I gotta use the.
I couldn't even celebrate $420.
No, it's all good. But no, thank you guys for coming on in. I think people really like this one just because it's a different perspective and it's getting into it, the nitty gritty of it. They let us know. You guys will be probably on the bus for Orange County coming up. Hacen desmadre siempre. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Keep your eyes peeled on the Chavos. Become a member. Follow that link to become a member. You can still become a member right now.
Learn the new chants.
Literally right now. Learn the new chants. I think we're good. Chelas con Chavos forever. Thank you guys.
Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.